And hi guys, hi there, how are all of you? I hope you all are fine. Well, my name is Yusuf and I'm back on Yusuf Reacts. Well guys, today I'm back again with a very interesting movie review for you people. Well, there are a lot of things that eventually we can talk about this particular movie, but before we start, there is one thing that I literally want to discuss about this particular movie. Like, if I talk about a lady known as Jemima Khan, there would be a lot of people who would know her, especially if I talk about the people from Pakistan. They would have a huge idea who this lady eventually is. But over here, she has come into the limelight because of a movie that she eventually has written by her own self, and she eventually got inspired for writing this particular movie down because of the fact that she had spent 10 years in Pakistan from the age of 20 to 30. So she eventually had this story at the back of her mind, that how eventually arranged marriages, they eventually take place, and those arranged marriages, how eventually those arranged marriages result in a very successful thing that she at her own side in England could not experience, and she thought that this is something that can never work out, but eventually it does, because of the fact she saw a lot of such examples, and a few of them were even his former husband's sisters. And eventually when he came across that, she saw that, like, yes, these things can eventually work out. But over here, the story that is there, I have gone through two different kinds of interviews of Jemima over here, and I eventually went on with the awards that were held in Toronto, the film festival. Over there, even if you have a look over here, the way things have gone on means everyone was ecstatic. They were extremely happy. This film also won the best award because of the fact it's a romantic comedy, so it's going to be a rom-com, and this is something that eventually I would say that the Brits are really good at, and Jemima has eventually done justice with it. Now over here, the cast of this movie is also quite interesting. The director of this movie is none other than Shekhar Kapoor himself, and whenever we talk about this particular guy, he really knows what to get out of the people, especially when we are talking about such kinds of subjects. And we got Shabana Azmi over there, and if we come across, then there is an individual who has really represented Pakistan, I would say, quite a lot now, known as Sajal, and she's also the one who is there. So all in all, if we talk about it, this movie has a lot to offer. Now coming to the name of the particular movie, what's love got to do with it? Now if we have a look at the particular title, we can clearly see this thing up, that love basically is the most integral element that most of the people in the Western world fancy, and they believe that that is something that is extremely important for especially a marriage to become successful. But when we have a look at this particular plot, and whenever we have a look at this arranged marriage thing, we clearly see that things have eventually gone different. So over here we come across a particular guy. Because of the fact over here, there's one more thing that is highlighted. It's the multicultural that is eventually present in England, especially that there are a lot of different cultures and people from different backgrounds. They live together, and how they eventually spend their lives. So over here, there is a Muslim boy who is there, and eventually he once is decides to eventually get married, and the marriage that is there is an arranged marriage. Now he has a neighbor, and she's someone who eventually does not buy the idea, and she really gets amazed that he is such a nice kind of a guy who is quite handsome, quite successful in life. How can he even go for such thing when the presence of love is not there? So eventually that is when she tends to explore, and eventually she plans to film his own friend's wedding, and that is where the whole thing comes across. So over here we see a lot of things that are there. We see the two different cultures that are there, especially the culture in Pakistan, and we even would witness the culture that is there, especially in England. How eventually, when that particular individual comes to a girl from Pakistan, how things eventually go along and how things eventually tend to happen. Now, if we talk about this particular movie, there is one thing that you can really talk about. And why am I so excited and ecstatic? Because of one particular reason. Pakistan has, always been portrayed, especially if I talk about so-called Bollywood, in a negative aspect. They have never talked anything good about Pakistan, and they've always tried to highlight the amount of terrorism and all the bad things that are there. But for the first time, if I talk about it, after a very long time, we can witness the positive side of Pakistan even. And that is something which, unfortunately, the current situation and the circumstances are not allowing people to do so. So this movie is something that I feel can contribute to a great extent for that particular thing. I'm someone who is really excited for it, and I hope that you guys would also love it because of the fact the trailer and the promo, it's going to be released of Feb, and I'm someone who is really excited for it. And there are a lot of people who are extremely excited because the buzz and the news and the happening or each and everything that is related to the movie, it really says it all. And I guess that is something that every one of us is going to be really ecstatic for. So guys, I guess this is me, Yusuf, saying goodbye to you people. I would like you guys to shower your support on me as you guys always tend to do so. Thank you very much for your time. Take care. Bye.